And hello from Lights and Gear. It's time for another flashlight review, and today I have a new light from Klarus. This is the very small Mi7, and it comes in a very small package just like this, which I suppose if you could find it in a retail shop would perhaps be on a peg. And it is a very easily pocketable flashlight, almost intended as sort of like a key ring, but to me it's a little bit big for a key ring, but is just a good enough size for your pocket. Unfortunately though, it does not come with a pocket clip, so that's one strike against it for pocket carry. Although it will easily fit, it might possibly just kind of rock around in your pocket, unless you might have some kind of a clip from another source which you might be able to fit onto it. Anyway, it is a AA flashlight, as it says right here on the package, and up top it says it's 700 lumens, so it is pretty bright for a flashlight of its size. That's one thing though that always bothers me, is when people say that the flashlight is really bright for its size. Really though, size doesn't matter as far as flashlights and brightness goes. If you've watched any of my previous videos and so forth, I mean, it's the driver and the LED that produce the light. And of course all these things are so small these days, you can put that in just about anything and get a bright beam of light. So having said that, that's the way that goes. So anyway, this is the flashlight. I'm not sure, it might actually come in other colors, because it does say here blue on the side, and I think maybe it does come in a couple of different colors. So on the GearBest website, for one, you can certainly check and see if you can get it in a couple of different colors. So a bit of basic information here on the back of the package, and it might be a little bit hard to see, but it does tell you here a little bit about the flashlight. And let's see if I can read a little bit about it here. It does take the one AA battery, but you won't get much brightness out of a AA. The real brightness comes from using the rechargeable 14500. So that's where you get the advertised brightness, and it's a pretty it's pretty light, obviously, because it's small. Only 26 grams without a battery, and about 45 grams with a battery, and it's just over 3 inches long. So, and right here it does give you a little bit of info on the lumen outputs, which do vary depending on the type of battery you use, whereby if you have a standard AA or even a rechargeable NIMH AA, you'll get about 330 lumens on high, whereby with the 14500 it'll be 700. The other modes are the same. It only has 3 modes. It has Moonlight, Low, and High, and in all cases Moonlight is 5 lumens and Low is 90 lumens. So it goes Moonlight, Low, and High, as I just said, and 90 lumens is on low, and high is either 330 or 700. It also has strobe and SOS, and strobe gives you the higher output, while SOS gives you 90 lumens out of each battery. So that gives you the basics of that right there. It is waterproof, it is impact resistant, and it also uses a Cree XPL High V3 LED. So a very nice LED in a very small little light. Beam distance is, what does it say here, about 110 meters. Not terribly good, but again, for a light of this size, it's not bad at all. So there you go with some of the statistics on the flashlight. It also has a lockout section and so forth, a lockout mode I should say, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. Let me turn a little bit more light on. Okay, as we open up the package, and in the bottom you will find a little accessory package here, as well as a manual. And here's the manual, and it's pretty good. We'll give you all the information I just told you and more, and of course how to operate the flashlight, which we'll get to in a second. And in this little package here, there are a couple of accessories. There's a lanyard, which is adjustable. There's also a key ring and an O-ring, and this little gadget, which I suppose is meant for a key ring or something of that sort. Never seen anything quite like this in this shape, but anyway, that's what that is, I assume, for a key ring. And here's your lanyard. So those are your accessories. And as we go to the light itself, pull the little devil out, and there it is, about 3.2 inches long, and pretty thin, not much wider or thicker than a AA battery would be. And here is your LED, of course. Please come out. There we go. Here's your LED amidst sort of a orange peel reflector in there. And here's your little side switch, which turns it off and on and changes the modes. It tail stands perfectly from its flat bottom and has some reasonably nice knurling along the outside here. It is aerospace aluminum. 6061T6, I believe, is the type of aluminum, so it's pretty strong, and also has a constant current circuit in here, so it will keep the battery as bright as possible. So anyway, to turn it on, all you do is give the switch a little click, and it's on. And I was going to mention a couple of other things. You can lock it out, because in your pocket this little switch might possibly turn on. So to lock it out, all you do is hold the switch, and you have to keep holding it even after it turns on in Moonlight mode, and then you have to wait for it to blink, and now it's locked out. Won't do a darn thing. Well, it just did, because I pressed it enough times to unlock it. Okay, when it's locked out, let's try this again. Not to bore everybody, but you hold it like that and wait for it to blink, and it's now locked out. So if I went to turn it on like that, it won't do anything. But to turn it back on, I have to press it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now it's unlocked. And incidentally, that is also how you check the battery voltage. So basically, when you're using a 14500, but let me just do this, because I'll show you in a second. It comes with a AA battery, and there is a AA, well, it comes with a AA battery, so that AA battery is already in the light. So let me do this. 1, 2, 3. Yep, it'll work with any battery, and I actually hadn't tested that before. That is your voltage indicator. So by pressing it 3 times from the off position, it'll tell you approximately how much power is left in the battery. And it blinked 3 times after I pressed it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. It did blink 3 times, which means the battery is over 75% full. If it were to blink twice, that means it would be about half full. And if it blinks or blunk, if it blinks once, then obviously it's running pretty low, and it's below below a quarter, below about 25%. So anyway, inside the light, as I was going to get to, and you have to, the back won't come off. You have to unscrew the head to get to the battery. Here is the battery that comes with the flashlight. So you do get this little nondescript industrial, as it's called here, 1.5 volt alkaline battery, and that will not give you the top brightness. So let me instead move over to the 14500s, which of course I do recommend, they being the 3.7 volt rechargeable. So this is what I would say to use in the light. So put that in. Sort of hard to do that and watch the view on the camera at the same time. So anyway, here is with the 14500, and here's where you get the brightest light. So let's turn this off. Give it one press, and you are automatically in high mode, because this is what it defaults to. This is high. And there you go. Very nice beam. It is the XPL high V3 LED. And it isn't as the beam is not quite as tight as a couple of other flashlights I've seen, almost with this same LED. So it has a nice it has a nice spill to it. It's not really spotlight. I mean, if you want really spotlight, you know, but anyway, it has a nice spill to it. So anyway, this is on high mode. If I press it once, I go down to low mode, and if I press it again, it's off. And that's all it does, is high, low, and moonlight, which I'll show you in a second. So each time I press it, it defaults to high, because there is no memory. And so each time you turn it off, you have to go back down to low, and then press it to turn off. If I want moonlight, I press and hold the switch, and now I'm in moonlight. And that's the only way to get moonlight, is by pressing and holding the switch from the off position. So here's moonlight, and that gives you just enough light to see in complete darkness inside. So there's moonlight. To turn it off from moonlight, just press it once. If I want strobe, I double click, and I can double click from either being off or double click from being on, and it will always go to strobe, and it's also a variable strobe. If I double click in strobe, then I go to SOS. So here's the SOS mode, and if I press it again, then it turns off. Now, if I have it on already, and I double click and go to strobe, and then double click again and go to SOS, and then single click, it goes right back to high again. Did you get that? If not, replay the video. But that's how you do that with SOS and strobe. And so pretty much that is it for the modes. That is all the modes. If I press it again from this particular point, it'll go back down to low, and then press it again, and it'll turn off. So just remember, if you want moonlight, you have to press and hold it from the off position, and then you get moonlight mode at about 5 lumens. And I showed you the battery indicator, did I not? I think so. Yes, I did. Again, if I have it off and I click it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, I get 2 flashes there, indicating that this battery is between 30 and 70% capacity. So there you go. And now you're back in high mode by giving it one little click. So that is the flashlight, and those are the modes. I think it's pretty darn good. Again, for a light of this size, it's pretty good, and it certainly gives you enough light to see. Checking out the outdoor beam shots would be to go to my website and click the link, which is below, and you will get a chance to see what this light can do outside. It's pretty impressive. Again, for a small light, it's very impressive outside. So you might want to look at that at lightsandgear.com, where you'll also see lots of other flashlights, batteries, chargers, etc., and lots of information on all these items. That's lightsandgear.com. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video of the Klarus Mi7, and there's also a link below to purchase it from my friends at Gear Best, who are kind enough to supply it to me. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video, as I said, and we will see you on the website and in the next video. Alright, take it easy. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.